Good morning. It's Sunday morning. It's the 17th of August already. And I want to say good morning to Leroy. Thank you for checking in. Well, I'm doing something a little different this morning just because I like variety, but because also, it's different. It's Sunday morning. Come on, we're supposed to be thinking about all sorts of things. Over the time, I've often pulled a card from this little box. It has things on both sides of it, and it gives you a sense of to inspire, to aspire to whatever. So what I did using my trusty pendulum this morning was that I went through the whole box asking for yes or no, explaining what I wanted to do, yes or no. And then from the pile that was a yes, I went further and I have six. So I'm going to talk about six. The first one I'm reaching for is, it says, we are all students and teachers for each other. And it's from the Center of Attitudinal Healing. I'm already wanting to turn to the other side, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to address what it says. We learn from each other. We learn many things. We learn the good, the bad, and the ugly, as they say, from those around us who we hang out with, who we talk to, who we communicate with. And it's a matter of recognizing that we're not always the one that knows everything. And sometimes watching a little kid play or do something, you learn so much more about spontaneity, about how sometimes a child thinks a little bit differently than we do as adults, because we tend to, once we get into school, we tend to be herded into a way of thinking or responding into the world. So basically, it's saying we're all students and teachers for each other. And the key is to recognize this, is that sometimes we're learning from somebody else or we're understanding something a little differently. We don't all experience the same things. And very often we can learn a great deal by listening to what somebody else has to say. Now, the second one I'm picking up here, and remember, my pendulum picked these. In every situation, in all circumstances, you have the power to transform your life. And that's from Werner Erhard. So just think about this. In every situation, in all circumstances, you, meaning yourself, meaning me, have the power to transform your life. What do you think that really means? In every situation, so often we don't realize we're given opportunities to share information, to share what we have learned, and to listen. Ears. So often we're so prejudiced in what our belief systems are, what our circumstances are, that we do not listen. We do not see. So we often find that we're not perceiving things. We're not coming to an awareness of what may be happening in other people's lives, or a perception or an awareness of how we can shift and change. We do have the opportunity to be able to transform our lives by thought, by changing a perception, by being aware that A and B don't necessarily make C, if you're into algebra at all, or 1 and 2 don't necessarily make 3. It's a matter here, I think, when you think about this, in every situation, in all circumstances, you have the power to transform your life. And it's true, because so often we are run by the belief systems we've already created, our our perceptions, our awareness. So when we all of a sudden are confronted with something a little different, it's like we just go blank. We shut down. I found I used to shut down when things came up I didn't understand, or they were asking for a larger response, emotional response. For many years, I would shut down and go away. I had no, like I just wasn't present. And then I had to learn, actually, I had to learn how to do this. And it is a matter of learning, it's a matter of encouraging myself to, what did you actually feel in that? How come you went away? I would go back and self-analyze and figure it out so that I could be more open to hear what other people were saying, especially as the more work I did with individuals, more readings, more transformation work. I had to be open to all sorts of ideas and concepts that were very different from what I believed at one point in my life. So, yeah, be open, because you do have the power to change, transform, become very different. The next little card I have, it says, I make all my decisions with the help of ego or with the help of spirit. I looked at that though. I thought, well, how come my pendulum picked this one? Because I really didn't read them. I didn't give them any thought. I thought I was going to be doing that on air and we'd see where that went. What is your ego? The ego is basically what we saw in the card before, where we are trapped in our perceptions of how things are supposed to be, how they are fitting, what this means and that means, like very, in some ways, structured. The ego I always think, I really don't think too much about ego anymore, but you run into it occasionally in a person, you go, wow, where are they coming from? But anyway, that's again, a judgment, a perception. So, but here we have with the help. So help of how we live, perceive, see, think, that's our ego, our sense of personal. This is me. This is how I present myself. This is what I represent. This is what I'm doing. I'm just shifting a glass of water because I tend to talk with my hands and I thought, oh, that's a bit close to the edge of the table. Anyway, so, or with the help of spirit. That means the guiding, the asking, the looking at something from a different perspective, seeing like what I call love or the light in everything, knowing that the universal spirit, God, if you will, whatever name you want to call that, is in everything. So your decisions, are they for your highest good? Do they help everybody? Or is it, just about me? All of those things go into what they call ego. I really don't use that word, but it is used a lot. Ego and or spirit. And spirit is you apply to the higher purpose, the higher awareness, the higher it all. So it's just saying, take a look at where your decisions are coming from. Is it, look at me, look how good I am, look what I've done, look what I can achieve? Or is it with the help of the spirit to see the greater good? Am I doing this for the greater good? Am I projecting that for the greater good? That's a very different way of looking at ego, me, or the greater good